In 2017, a teenager in Minneapolis filmed a police officer kneeling on a man's neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. She posted the video to Facebook. Within 72 hours, every major city in America was on fire. An estimated 15 to 26 million people took to the streets in what may have been the largest protest movement in American history. One video. One phone. One post. A country transformed. Without social media, that video never leaves Minneapolis. There are 5 billion social media users on Earth. That is more than the number of people who have running water. The average human spends 2 hours and 20 minutes per day scrolling through feeds designed by thousands of engineers to be as addictive as possible. And the entire thing, every platform, every post, every algorithm, is younger than most of the people using it. Facebook launched on February 4, 2004. It was a website for rating Harvard students' attractiveness. Twitter launched in 2006 as a side project inside a podcasting company. Instagram was built by 2 people and gained 25,000 users on its first day. TikTok, the app that reshaped entertainment, attention, and an entire generation's relationship with reality, did not exist internationally until 2018. The most powerful communication infrastructure in human history was built in less than 20 years by people who had no idea what they were building. So what if none of it had happened? Start with politics. In January 2011, an Egyptian Google executive named Wael Ghanem created a Facebook page called We Are All Khaled Said, named after a young man beaten to death by police. The page helped organize the protests that toppled Hosni Mubarak's 30-year dictatorship. Tweets about Egyptian political change went from 2,300 per day to 230,000 in the week before Mubarak resigned. Social media did not cause the revolution. The causes were decades of corruption, unemployment, and repression. But it compressed what might have taken years into weeks. When Mubarak's government shut down the internet on January 28, the protests actually grew. The people were already in the streets. The revolution did not need social media to sustain itself. But it needed social media to start that fast. In October 2017, the New York Times published allegations against Harvey Weinstein. That same week, actress Alyssa Milano tweeted, "If you have been sexually harassed or assaulted, write Me Too" as a reply to this tweet. Within 24 hours, the hashtag had been used 12 million times on Facebook alone. The Me Too movement had existed since 2006, created by activist Tarana Burke on MySpace. It took social media going viral to make the world listen. Without social media, these allegations still get published. Newspapers still investigate. But the collective roar of millions of women saying Me Too simultaneously, that does not happen through letters to the editor. Now the other side. In Myanmar in 2017, the military launched a campaign of mass atrocities against the Rohingya Muslim minority. 700,000 people fled to Bangladesh. The United Nations called it a textbook example of ethnic cleansing. And a UN investigation found that Facebook had played a determining role in spreading the hate speech that fueled the violence. In Myanmar, for millions of people, Facebook was the internet. It was pre-installed on phones. It was the only source of information. And it was flooded with dehumanizing propaganda that the company did not moderate because it had almost no staff who spoke Burmese. Social media did not invent hate. But it gave hate a distribution system with the reach of a broadcast network and the accountability of a whisper. The 2016 American presidential election was targeted by Russia's Internet Research Agency, a troll farm in St. Petersburg that created thousands of fake American accounts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. These accounts reached an estimated 126 million Americans on Facebook alone. They posed as Texas secessionists, Black Lives Matter activists, gun rights advocates, and immigration opponents, simultaneously, because the goal was not to support one side. The goal was to make Americans hate each other. The Senate Intelligence Committee confirmed it. The Mueller report documented it. And no one has figured out how to stop it from happening again. In March 2018, a whistleblower named Christopher Wiley revealed that Cambridge Analytica had harvested the personal data of 87 million Facebook users through a personality quiz app. 270,000 people took the quiz. The app then scraped data from every one of their friends. That data was used to build psychological profiles for political advertising. Mark Zuckerberg testified before Congress. Facebook was fined $5 billion. Cambridge Analytica went bankrupt. And the fundamental business model, harvest personal data, sell targeted advertising, did not change at all. Then there are the children. In September 2021, a Facebook whistleblower named Frances Haugen leaked internal research showing that Instagram's own scientists had found that the platform made body image issues worse for 1 in 3 teenage girls. 32% of teen girls surveyed said that when they felt bad about their bodies, Instagram made them feel worse. The company knew. It did not act. The U.S. Surgeon General issued a formal advisory in May 2023 declaring social media a significant risk to the mental health of children and adolescents. Teenagers who spend more than 3 hours per day on social media face double the risk of depression and anxiety symptoms. The CDC's data shows that persistent feelings of sadness or hopelessness among U.S. high school students rose from 28% in 2011 to 42% in 2021. Among teen girls, it went from 36% to 57%. The timing is not subtle. Smartphone saturation among U.S. teens crossed 50% around 2012. The mental health decline began at the same moment. Scientists disagree about causation. Researchers at Oxford analyzed 350,000 adolescents and found the effect of social media on well-being was real but small, comparable to the effect of wearing glasses. Researchers at NYU argue the effect is much larger and that the Oxford methodology underestimates harm. The American Psychological Association says it depends on the individual. The Surgeon General says the risk is significant enough to act without waiting for perfect certainty. Without social media, none of this debate exists. Teenagers are bored. They talk to each other. They develop social skills through face-to-face interaction, not through curated personas. They do not receive anonymous messages at 2 in the morning. They do not compare their lives to filtered highlights of strangers. They are not algorithmically fed content designed to provoke the strongest possible emotional reaction because that is what keeps them scrolling. But without social media, a woman in a small town cannot find others who share her experience of domestic violence and realize she is not alone. A gay teenager in a conservative family cannot find a community that accepts him. A small business cannot reach customers without buying a television ad or a Yellow Pages listing. A protest movement in a country with state-controlled media cannot reach the outside world. Social media did not create human cruelty or human connection. It amplified both. It took every impulse, the urge to share, the urge to belong, the urge to attack, the urge to perform, and gave it the reach of a global broadcast network with zero editorial oversight. The creator economy is now worth an estimated $250 billion. YouTube has paid creators over $70 billion in 3 years. And the majority of full-time creators earn less than $1,000 a year. Social media promised everyone a voice. It delivered a lottery. 5 billion users. 2 hours and 20 minutes per day. 12 million Me Too posts in 24 hours. 126 million Americans reached by a foreign intelligence operation. 87 million profiles harvested without consent. 1 in 3 teenage girls made to feel worse about their bodies by a platform that knew and did nothing. The question is not whether social media changed the world. The question is whether we built something we can control. And the answer, after 20 years of evidence, is that we do not know. We genuinely do not know.